Okay, let's see if this works. So, sketchbook tour. Alright, so this is from this year, and I started it, I think, in January or February. I'm not even sure. Wait. I never write the date on it, which I probably should, but who cares? So, this was done as part of an application for a school, NCAD in Dublin, and when I was halfway finished, I found out, oh wow, they don't even need a sketchbook from international students. So this was just for fun in the end. But without further ado, you don't even know how long I wanted to say this. Okay, this is my sketchbook. And we start out with an observational drawing of some puppets in a window from a mall. I actually bought this sketchbook and these colored pencils because I needed to wait for my mom for an hour or so, and so I just bought them for €4 and sat down and sketched these models in the window of the shop. Yes, beautiful, amazing. Look at this head. Look at the size of this. Okay, I know. Then I did some quick figure drawing studies, because you can always use these. I used a website that shows you different models every couple of minutes, I think. And yeah, I went over them again with a black marker, because I thought if I submitted this and these sketches looked bad, then it's not the best thing. So yes, a little bit cheating. It's okay. So this is the start of the semester. We had to, in our illustration course, we had to pick an illustrator and talk about them. And my illustrator was Franziska Neubert. Did a little mind map for what I wanted to talk about and some case studies. Some studies of her artwork. It's pretty cool. It's pretty graphic. I did not use the right pencils here. It's very okay, more writing nobody really cares about. Yeah, another study, but this time just because I can and I need to get better with colors, so I did these little swatches down here. And this was actually for typography class. Typography class. We had to design a logotype, and I chose to do some little icons with my logotype. It's for a museum that also has a lot of space outside, I guess. So yes. And oh wait, I did start this in the fall, I think, because I remember here 1st November, and it was such a cool, gloomy day, and I wanted to draw it, and I was in a car, so when I got out of the car, I sketched this, and then I was very disappointed because it didn't look anything like the things I saw. And this is a random person I saw on the bus. I think she looked really cool, and so I used some colored pencils and destroyed the whole following page with that. But it's also for the logotype, these things here. Some well, didn't think this through, did I? These are some character style for drawing studies for the character for the book. It's Ruby Trick from a book by Belinda Bauer. She's a really good author. I really like her stuff. And this was a sketch for a poster. I think I also uploaded this on Instagram. How beautiful. You can see so much. It's so amazing. Okay, a little, I guess, collage. I don't even know. Cut this out of a magazine and put some hand lettering under there, because I can do this thing. I'm not good at it, but I wanted to try it anyway. So, another thing I cut out of the magazine, National Geographic magazine, I think. Look at this beautiful headdress and clothing, and I just wanted to make this into a character, so I did a couple of sketches. of her and try to figure out a style. Can't really see it too well. Try to get the colors right. Yeah, I really liked it. I like that the page folds out like this. So clever. Using the format like a real designer. Oh yes, these are also for illustration class. It's Marcus Tullius Cicero or Cicero, whatever you like best. And this is a one-line drawing. I think it's also blind. Who really knows at this point? Another one, because he's so cool, such a cool man. Yeah, it was for a project. It's called Inspiring People, and we were supposed to do a big poster with a portrait of them and some things around them, things that describe them. And so I did some research and some more research about ancient letters, because he wrote a lot. He was basically like Hamilton. If that tells you anything. Haha. Okay. And so these are all things that I have to do something with Cicero. This is, I don't even know what's the right word in English. In German it's Gigelp. And which basically means, it's his last name. Cicero means Gigelp, and it's really funny. Or not, who cares? Okay, then some wine leaves. I don't even know, thing. The Senate. Look at it. That little pencil sketch was so much work. Okay. And the little town where he's from. At least I hope it's the town he's from. I just entered this name in the Google search bar and what came up was this, so I drew it. Might not be the right thing. Oh yes, his rival. Evil boy. Look at him. So handsome. Catilina. The guy who wanted to overthrow Rome just so he could erase his debt. Funny guy. Okay, Forum Romanum. Yes. Look at these things. Architecture. Amazing. What would really an ancient person be without some good old... I don't even know the English word. These pillars, I think. Pillars. So, letters, ancient letters. Beautiful, amazing, gorgeous. Oh, his best friend. Look at him, look at his precious face. Atticus. He's amazing. He's a good boy. And his wife. This is a study from painting. That wasn't really naturalistic, so it kind of looks a little wonky, I guess. The others were from statues, actually, so that was a lot better than drawing from another drawing, but, you know. Whoa, the Roman Empire! And the tools of trade, I guess, from him. Things they used to write with. And fire, because fire is dramatic, and it's like, you know, these, if you're really ambitious, it's like a fire is burning inside of you. And also Catilina planned to set Rome on fire, so fire. And Gigelp sprouts. Gigelp, I need to look up that word. I don't know what it really is. And things from Greece, because he went to Greece to study philosophy. Yay! And an olive tree, I think. Oh, look at him. Zenon. An ancient philosopher. Philosopher that Cicero really liked. Cool man, very stoic. Stoic. Okay, now to the fun part. So this is Fisher Boy, you might know him. I designed him, I think, in mermaid last year with a Selkie girl, and it's not his right eye color, but I just wanted to try some watercolors and sketch some expressions. There he again, a little bit more stylized. So this is part of a thing I'm working on. You could call it a project, I guess, but it's still in the world building phase. That's the main character. She's killing gods and eating them. Wow, you wouldn't have guessed. Oh geez. Okay. So more world building things, I guess. Sketches for houses. I think I will work them in the end. And the culture is something like a mixture of Japanese cultures or East Asian cultures and people from Greenland. I really don't know the correct term. I'm sorry, because they both used to or still do hunt whales and eat them, and that's what this story thing is based on. And some clothing designs. Yay! Oh my god, I really need to get better at designing clothing, guys. This is not okay. Okay. Some portraits of the main character again. She's very angry and sad all the time because everything's so dramatic in her life. And this is for typography class as well, because I made my own font and I needed a specimen book to show that off, of course. What's this? I don't even know what this is. I think these are just notes. I think I need to blur these out later. Okay, another character from the story. This is like a high priestess who can hear the voices of the gods. And she basically tells the people when it's hunting season and then they go out. Well, wait, okay. She chooses the people who go out to hunt. They come back and eat their gods. Amazing. But it's a little bit more complicated. This is just a little bit of exploration. A little bit of notes on the story, I think. And this is the troublemaker who comes into the village of the people who live there and eat their gods, and he doesn't understand, and he's a scientist, I think, was my last idea, my last update. And basically he just wants to sell the flesh of the gods for his own gain for money. And things get dramatic, and I still need to figure it into better spots. So yeah, and this is where things get dramatic. Yes, love stories. So a little bit more of the high priestess. Look at her. She's called Our Ears. The people call her Our Ears because she is basically their ears. She's listening to the voices of the gods all the time. And this was in the mall, in the food launch, and people were eating with chopsticks. And I whipped out my sketchbook, and I had a nugget that looked like a dinosaur, so screw that. Amazing. Even more people stalking. Very fashionable. And now I'm hungry. Great, okay. This was planned for portfolio for NCAD, which didn't really help me that much in the end. These are, I think you probably know this challenge. It's when you put down random blobs of color and then draw over them with a pencil or a fine liner and make little silly characters or faces out of it. It's really fun. You can also make other people do these blobs and then you draw over them. And then I had this weird concept, I guess, for a video game, yeah. That's like Pokemon, but you use, instead of Pokemon, there are like these creatures that are based on fairy tales and folklore, and this was the Little Mermaid, and you can see she's already turning into sea foam here. Very sad story. Another Little Mermaid without the tail this time, and she has a knife because in the original story it said that every step hurt her like 1,000 or 100 stab wounds by a knife in her feet. Very sad. This was just a scene I came up with when riding in a train, because everything seemed so wild and the trees looked so dead. I just thought maybe there was a big thing in the forest that rampaged through it, and this little guy-girl thing here is hunting it and trying to make it stop. Yeah, this is also for the portfolio. I highlighted it, so the people had an easier time finding everything that had to do with it. We had to choose a navigation, a keyword that we should explore then. So I did this little mind map. Not my proudest work, not really. So this is also navigation. It's a little bit of my own life and a little bit of just random things like the zoo, and here actually my art friends, look at them, and here we are in typography class, and yeah, my art stuff, and here's the forest and my tablet, and wow, my bed, and the train station. Wow, navigation, amazing. Okay. Then I was painting stuff and I had too much color, so I guess I just how do I say this without sounding stupid, but I just put it on the page here with my fingers. Bam, and then I drew over it. And here as well, and I just left it at that because I thought it looked pretty cool as it is. And then the stuff that kept on the page, the little bits of color here are from here, so I made a little landscape out of this, post-apocalyptic. And because I thought post-apocalyptic would be an amazing play of words, I then drew this. Yeah, I know. So, and I still had some color left, so I drew this amazing man here with my fingers and a dry brush and highlighter. And I still had some color left, so I drew this portrait. I think I found a reference for this on Pinterest. And then I planned to paint a pigeon for navigation, like, a carrier pigeon. But I didn't follow through with it, because, yeah, okay. And a little comic thing. I don't even know if you can read it, but here's a king, he's receiving a letter from a carrier pigeon, and I don't even know what the joke was. I don't even know. I guess the joke was the king receives a message from this pigeon and he thinks it must be very important, and then just a letter from his brother, and he's confused and lost, and the king is just cringing, I guess. Wow, amazing sense of humor. So a little bit more serious stuff, cool stuff, hands, sketches, because hands are fucking difficult to draw, for me at least. So, and another little thumbnail sketches for navigation, because people who sail rely on the stars. Amazing. And Odysseus here, who thinks navigation is a joke. Yeah, fun stuff. And sketches from people at the train station, which I do pretty often because I'm so often at the train station, and I always have 10 minutes of time, so I can sketch people minding their own business. A little portrait study from a Native American woman I found it on Pinterest. Such bad lighting. And some studies of whales, because it's important for where I'm from, we eat our gods project story thing. The gods are basically giant floating whale creatures like this. And more observational drawings. You can tell it's winter, Jesus Christ. And another observational drawing. I think this is pretty cute. Father and son, or grandpa and son. And a weird person I turned into a character because I thought they looked like a detective or something, or scientist. Okay, I had to take a tiny little break here, but let's continue. So this was in typography class, and I was waiting for my professor to come and give me critique, and the classmate said, "Oh, let's draw treehouse," and so I did, and it's colorful, and I wished I had this as a child because it's really cool. This was in our local forest area. There's a cool ruin and cool plants, and I just went into the forest and drew stuff with a ballpoint pen and also with the watercolor. This is also done in the forest, this one. And these are in a restaurant where there was decoration on the tables, and it was a rose. And oh wow, yeah, okay. I started a storyboard for the song The Ballad of Love and Hate. I didn't get really far. But you can, if you want to, you can listen to the song and just look at this, I guess. I also had this concept that it's not just love and hate personified, but also Hades and Persephone from like Greek myths, because I think it would be fitting, and also in a modern setting because nobody has planes in ancient Greece, I think. And yeah, that's so far I got before abandoning it. I think around this time I also realized that I didn't even need to turn in the sketchbook, so I just made a couple of random drawings here from my family when we were sitting outside on the first like real nice day on Sunday. And some more character exploration stuff with like Japanese culture because I really love that, and I just try to make things look good, but it's really difficult, and I'm not so good when I'm not working when I'm working without any kind of reference. And look at this, it's completely wrong, Jesus. And more Fisher Boy. Look at his face. And some observational drawings from geese at our park in the city I live in. Geese are actually really cool animals. Like, they're pretty intimidating if you get too close. They're really, really big, and they have such cool wings. I was pretty impressed by geese, yes. So this was at a restaurant, and a few tables across from where I was sitting, there was this lady, and she had a kind of cool haircut, so I drew her in watercolor and tried to stylize her. And then there was a wild park, a park with deer and other critters you find in the forest in it. So I sketched these with some markers. This guy had such a complicated, I don't even know what it's called, Jesus, a complicated headdress. Let's call it headdress, horns, I don't know. So I tried to draw it, but it's really, really difficult because this guy was moving so much. He was so hungry. People were feeding him, and he was just from A to B constantly. Oh, look at them. Look at these swines. The boars and the little piglets. They were so tiny, they were so cute. birds that are more stylish than I ever will be. Oh, this was actually in Bologna. At the very start of April, there's a book fair for children's books in Bologna, Italy, and we went there with my illustration course, and it was so cool and so fun, and the city is so pretty, so we sat down and sketched it, but I grew very frustrated, so I kind of stopped. And some more observational drawings from the park in Bologna. I tried to turn the people into characters, but they were walking by so fast. Oh wow, yeah. The people I was traveling with as animals. You know who you are. Some more, some more where I'm from, we kill our gods stuff, dramatic stuff, I think. Oh geez. Oh yeah, here I was trying to come up with a name for my main protagonist. And it started with a storyline on this small side of the sketchbook, but I started with a real script on my computer, so more people in the public transportation thing from Berlin. It's really cool because they have this public transport thing that goes round and round and round, and you can just stay put and draw people. And these are people from home. I don't even know what this is. And a scene from the bench I was sitting at. There's a tree and there's a street and things. And more people! I think actually this was in Berlin and the other things all were at home, so this is Berlin. Public transportation. And it was still pretty cold, so everyone was wearing winter attire. And also people seem to hide, I guess, or were only partly visible, so things look a little bit wonky, but it's still a good practice. It's always a good practice. And I think we're close to the end. A little bit more people from the train station home. And I didn't get to finish this because the person moved, and I think that's where the sketchbook ends. Oh no, look, this is very important. Best thing I've drawn all day. Okay. So this is it, I think. That was the sketchbook tour. Peace out. Oh wait, so peace out.